Same to you.
There's 2 minutes for Elliott's vote.
Yes, sir. Oh, how are you?
Hey, I apologize. Be careful. Be careful on the slab. Dan's gonna regulate it.
You know how it's done. Okay, it's 1 o'clock and it's time to get to work. I'll call the meeting to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Albritton? Senator Allen? Senator Bell? Senator Carnley? Senator Coleman?
Here.
Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Kelly? Senator Orr? Senator Roberts? Senator Stewart? And Senator Beller.
Here. Quorum being present, we'll go ahead and conduct business. Commissioner of Insurance is here and he's got an appointment he's got to get to, so I want to call up at the bottom of the calendar Senate Bill 107 first.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and distinguished committee members. Senate Bill 107 has to do with the Department of Insurance as well as the Association of Funeral Home or Funeral Homes Association. So we have been working on these bills or this subject matter for years. And I have been proud to be a part of a lot of the negotiations and carry those bills. So I figured we would let the horses' mouths speak to this bill to explain it to you, since I understand there's been a lot of confusion surrounding this bill. But let me say first that you will have to know that I would never sponsor a bill unless it is a good bill and it is for the best all involved. Let me say that. So I'd really like to call up Commissioner Fowler and the director of the CEO, director, president of the Alabama Funeral Home Association, if they would join me to explain this bill.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator Figures. First, let me say thank you to her for sponsoring this legislation, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, for considering it as well. This is a necessary bill, and I'm just going to give you a little historical background and then turn it over to Director Pirine of the Board of Funeral Services, and he can explain more of the details about it. But for many years, the Department of Insurance regulated the sale of pre-need services, pre-need funeral services. We were doing that, frankly, at a deficit. We're a fee-based agency, a middle column agency, not a general fund agency. So we collect fees from the insurance industry to regulate the insurance industry, and that's primarily where our money comes from to manage our agency. Years ago, we had been given this by the legislature, and we all used to joke that a former commissioner a few decades ago, in a weak moment, agreed to take it, and the fees were in the bill. In the law, so we had to charge the fees that were in the law, and we found ourselves regulating at a deficit, which we just simply ought not do, because what was happening is that the insurance industry was subsidizing the regulation of pre-need, and that's pretty much the way, because we had that as a backup fund. A couple of years ago, the legislature, in what we thought was an incredibly wise move, moved that from the Department of Insurance to the Board of Funeral Services. What we needed to do, though, and we talked about this for a number of years before we did this, probably 2 or 3 years, was we knew they were going to have to add to their staff. We knew they were going to have to adjust the fees. We knew they were going to have to do a number of things regulatorily to be able to regulate pre-need. And so we kind of went into the legislation with that in mind. So what we did financially to make sure that they could have the financial footing to start regulating pre-need for a period of time, the department agreed to simply pay the Board of Funeral Services $300,000 a year, which was what we had calculated we were regulating, the deficit which we were regulating on pre-need. And that was to allow them to get on their feet. They could start charging the fees that were in the law, going to the Board of Funeral Services, and then they would have this extra money too to get them in this position. That 4-year time was intended to be for them to regulate pre-needs, see what it really took them to do that, see how many staff they really needed, and what the real cost of regulation would be for the Board of Funeral Services. And we knew during that time they would come back to the legislature and adjust the fees based on their cost of regulation, and that's simply what this bill is. This was all a part of the plan when the legislature passed that bill And I think Senator Figure sponsored that legislation a couple of years ago. This was all part of the plan. We knew it would take a couple of years to get a good footing on what it was costing them, and that's what this legislation is. And they're coming back now to make sure they are not they cannot regulate a deficit at the Board of Funeral Services. We had the ability to do that at the insurance department. It's just not something we talked about readily, that the insurance industry was subsidizing the regulation of pre-need. We got that off the table by moving it, but they don't have that. There's no way they can regulate at a deficit. This bill addresses that, so thank you for considering it, and thank you to Senator Figures for carrying it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon to the committee members and to you, Mr. Chair, and to Senator Figures. I'm Charles P. Ryan, the Executive Director of the Alabama Board of Funeral Service. Just to follow up what Commissioner Fowler is just saying, is we have been regulating pre-need funeral service since October 1st of 2023. During that time, we have had the opportunity to see what it would actually cost us to fully regulate it as it needs to be, and the expenses that it requires to do that, including the increase in staff and travel and those things, because we are required to go out and examine these firms that sell pre-need services to ensure that the consumer money is being handled properly. We have done the numbers, and we believe that, and what we have seen preliminary is that it's going to cost us, we need to add an additional $675,000. The insurance department money will expire in October of 2027, and we believe that without having to go up on license fees, that a simple administrative fee to each funeral service is the way that we could do that. That's fair and equal across the board to everyone. The bill says up to $30. However, our preliminary numbers thinks that fee will be about $10 per service. In 2024, there were exactly 59,000 deaths in the state of Alabama. $10, that would be $590,000. And then the rest would come from the license fees that we're already collecting.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Isn't there a $1,000 fee in the bill?
There is the board. There's a $1,000 fee that is for the transfer of pre-need certificate of authority, and we only have last year we had 4 or 5 of those, and that's just simply because of the work that it goes into. A transfer or a sale of a business cannot take place unless we sign off approving that sale, because we have to ensure that the consumer's pre-need money is protected and is whole. And that requires a lot of man hours and requires an audit of those finances. And so it's about 3 or 4 per year, but $1,000 is what it says, up to $1,000.
Okay, thank you. Senator Bell?
I'm sorry, Senator. I just want to make it clear to everybody that they have to find this money, because they are the ones that all of the consumers come to this association when things go awry with the funeral service, such as somebody else's body being buried instead of the loved one, somebody's body was missing out of a casket, somebody being buried somewhere where they weren't supposed to, or weren't embalmed properly or whatever. This office has to handle that. The funeral home does it. So that's why they need this association and the money to take care of it. Now, the choice is going to be either we pass this legislation whereby each funeral home can charge $10 per service, and it's up to $30 because to take into consideration inflation without them having to come back before the legislature for every little increase. So before they could even go beyond $30, they would have to come back to the legislature. And if this bill is not passed with that, then each licensee, he has the authority to increase the license. And I did the math myself. When he says $675,000, and I think you said we have 458? 480 funeral homes, you can do the math yourself. That's a license fee of $1,407 and change. So it's either or. We pass this legislation that keeps it very economical for everybody, or he has the authority to increase the license fees.
Senator Bell?
I guess I'm getting some text from one of my funeral homes that I respect very high. I'd like to make a motion to carry this over 1 week. Let me get to them. Let me do a deep dive into this and figure it out, because I've got a couple questions, but it's based off what they've sent me a text as I'm sitting here. If we can carry it over for 1 week.
Do you mind telling us what they're saying, Senator?
Talking about
So
their-
that we can prepare to get
Well,
ready?
just basically just, hey, you're adding a tax to us. We don't understand this. I need to be able to respond to them. I mean, I may come back next week and vote yes. I need the ability
Well,
to.
please tell them it's
do a
going to
deep-
be that or the 1,400 and some odd dollars. I say round it out to 15.
Yeah, the committee's got a, Senator Coleman Madison.
Will you
I'm
finish?
finished, yes.
Okay. I would hope that we wouldn't carry it over, pass it, and let's see where we work with it. Because I too attempted to address this issue years ago. It is a problem. And I even contacted the insurance director at that time and that's where it fell. But they didn't have the wherewithal to deal with this. The situation, I think it was in Bessemer, dealing with somebody that wanted to be cremated. And they were getting the ashes and everything mixed up. Even the cremation of the whole 9 yards, the procedure which they would do, there was no regulation at all. This was a huge thing. You all might have read it in the paper. But there was nothing for the family to go to. This is a statewide issue that we have not addressed. There's a huge void. And the longer we delay it, it's not going to get any better. It hasn't gotten any better because, again, the insurance agency can't take care of it. I assume that there was an association, but there was nothing. And if we can get all of them coming together, I think this is a great idea. So I just want to thank you for bringing the legislation. But I would hope that we don't carry it over. We maybe not pass it, give him an opportunity to work with his people. But this is a fast session, as you know.
Right.
The
Thank you,
committee has
Senator
a
Coleman Madison.
motion made to carry over.
Mr. Chairman, if I might,
Hold on
Mr.
one
Chairman.
second. Is there a second? Second by Senator Allen.
Unreadiness.
I'll
I'd
withhold the
like to
vote
lay
for a
that
minute.
motion on the table.
Senator Figures.
Mr. Chairman, I sit on a number of committees in this Senate. I have for 30 years, and I have voted on a lot of bills, even today, that I voted to at least let it out of committee and allow the sponsor to work on that bill. So, Senator Bell, I would ask that you would please withdraw your motion to carry this bill over. I promise you, and I know that my word is golden around here,
Yeah.
that if you would just let it out of committee, as it was stated by Senator Coleman Madison, this session is going fast. And so if you could let it out, I promise to work with you. We will work with you to before we go anywhere. Not only that, you all control everything on what goes on the SOC anyway. So, but I would not push it until we worked it out, until you understood what was going on.
Okay, there is a motion before the
Leave it.
committee from Senator Bell. Would you repeat your motion?
I'm sitting here trying to answer them. I guess is 1 week.
But you're the leader. You were voted senator. You have the information that your constituents don't have, Senator. And I am actually working with you on one of your bills that I'm releasing that I had objection to, that you were working with me. Can you please return the favor?
Mr. Chairman.
Based on that, I'll return it.
Okay. Senator Elliott.
So you're withdrawing your motion? Okay, very good. I think that is a wise thing to do. I agree with Senator Figures. We are all working really well together right now, and I'd like to continue to do that. So I thank you. And to the folks listening back home, we are going to consider your concerns. And I've worked with Senator Figures for probably longer than she'd like. she would have liked to, but
You know I love you,
She's
Senator
only
Yes,
been here
Elliott.
ma'am.
about 10 years, right? That's
but
about all.
she's going to work with you on those issues and discuss those with you and those concerns, and we'll certainly have ample opportunity to vote in favor or against later. But I would encourage us to move it out of committee.
Thank you, Senator
Yes, ma'am.
Elliott.
Thank you.
Second.
I'm good with that.
Senator Bell, on your motion, you withdrawing?
Yes.
All right, Senator Bell's withdrawing the motion. Senator Carnley? Favorable to carry out.
Not carry on, like to get it out of committee.
That's what you, so you're moving to give it a favorable report. Seconded by Senator Coleman Madison. Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Albritton? Senator Allen? Senator Bell? Senator Carnley? Senator Coleman?
Aye.
Senator Coleman Madison?
Aye.
Senator Kelly? Senator Orr? Senator Roberts? Senator Stewart? Senator Butler?
Aye.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, it's 9-0. 9.
My angel today.
Bill is giving a favorable report out of committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator Bell, for withdrawing your motion, and thank you, distinguished members of this committee.
Senate Bill 7 by Senator Allen.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, thank you. This piece of legislation passed out judicial last year and passed the Senate as well. And here we are again. Very simple bill to protect the athletic commission. And of course, you know, for someone to have a slap competition, they have to be in Alabama. You have to be sanctioned by the commission, and certainly there are some organizations that sometimes circle around the commission and not have a sanctioned slap or fight or wrestling match or whatever it may be. But anyway, this is a plan to protect the citizens, not only the citizens, but this great state. So it's a common sense piece of legislation, and Mr. Chairman, I urge you and the committee to vote out of committee.
Is there a motion of favorable report?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Senator Carnley.
So are you trying to ban slap fighting, or just they have to be approved by the commission
That's
to
right.
be able to do it? So
That's
if they get
exactly.
approval, they can still do it.
Very
You just
well.
can't be having these rogue competitions
That's
without
right.
the approval.
We're basically discouraging any type activity like this, although the commission's in charge, and it won't be sanctioned by the state of Alabama. So yeah, you're right. Your comments was dead right.
A question on, and Senator Allen, I
Coleman
voted, I thank you, sir. I voted out of committee in judiciary because I feel if somebody want to slap themselves crazy, fine. But I have, you say that it's going to be sanctioned by the state, but not encouraged.
No. This is to prohibit. To prohibit. In other words, let's just say that you want to organize an event in your hometown, and you want to advertise to have a slap event, okay? And so I'm just saying, and it just, in other words, just to protect the state. In other words, this is to prohibit the state to sanction any event like this.
I'm not quite understanding it. Normally, citizens will assume that if we pass this, that we are sanctioning it. That's what I thought.
No,
That we were
we're
saying
not.
that
We're
it's okay.
prohibit.
So we're saying that, again, if you want to go out and slap yourself silly, you know, we're not saying that you can't do that. Huh?
Prohibited.
In other words,
Oh, so we were prohibiting slap fighting, slap, what is it? Slap boxing, slap, what is it? We slapping, who we slap fighting?
it's like now.
So this is, so we are prohibiting the slap fighting, right?
Right, to take care of the state athletic commission is the commission that regulates all
So
boxing,
do they come under?
wrestling, slapping, you know. In other words, we want to give the commission the right to prohibit slapping. As an
Okay.
event, as a sanctioned event, you know, so we don't want to do that.
So they don't regulate it right now?
No, ma'am, we try to protect them.
Okay, I think I got it.
But it does not prohibit you slapping yourself. Okay, call the roll.
Senator Albritton? Senator Allen?
Aye.
Senator Bell?
Come back to me.
Oh, okay. Senator Carnley?
I think I need to abstain so I can understand what we're prohibiting.
Senator Coleman?
Aye.
Senator Coleman Madison?
Okay, fine. Slap yourself.
Okay, Senator Kelly? Senator Orr? Senator Roberts? Senator Stewart?
Aye.
Senator Elliott?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm going to abstain as well, even though I'm back.
And Senator Butler?
Aye.
Okay. 5-5. It's 5-5. Abstain.
Okay, the motion is 5-5, so the bill comes out on a favorable but doubtful vote.
No, it failed. You had to have a majority.
Well, we got abstentions.
5 abstain.
But you don't have a majority positive. It didn't pass, it failed.
All right, Senate Bill 22, Senator Givhan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All these bills sort of dance around separation of powers. It's something you're going to get to enjoy listening to me a little bit about this year. 22 and 39 are basically the same thing. The lieutenant governor, and while I am very close to the lieutenant governor we have today, but it's not about Will Ainsworth. This is about the office. This is about the legislature and the executive branch. The lieutenant governor is the executive branch. And what I'm doing in these, or asking the legislature to do in these two things, hold on, this needs to be laid out. I know we're in a hurry. But if it's good for the speaker to make an appointment of a House representative, the corollary to that is the pro tem, not the lieutenant governor. Sorry.
Do what? Go ahead. Senator Bell,
Favorable.
move favorable, Senator Bell. Second,
Previous roll.
Senator Carnley. Any objection to previous vote?
We can't, that was a bad vote.
Oh,
We had a 9-0, the 9-0 vote.
Well, we were on 5-5, so we need to call a good roll.
Yeah, all right, call the roll.
Senator Albritton? Senator Allen?
Aye.
Senator Bell?
Aye.
Senator Carnley?
Aye.
Senator Coleman?
Abstain.
Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Kelly? Senator Orr? Senator Roberts? Senator Stewart? And Senator Butler?
Aye.
Oh, and where did Elliott go? Okay. So it's 9-1.
9-1, the bills give a favorable report. Senate Bill 39, Senator Givhan.
thank you. This is same song, second verse for legislative reapportionment.
Who said that?
We got a favorable and a second. Any objections using the previous roll? Here none, it's so ordered.
So it's 9-1.
Senate Bill 40, Senator Givhan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what this bill does is it only changes the contract review law to allow the, your committee, I think you're on, to recommend that the governor not sign a contract. That doesn't stop her from doing it. It's just a recommendation.
Favorable for Senator Kelly is the second, Senator Bell. Any objection to the previous roll? Add one to Senator Coleman Madison. Coleman.
Thank you, members.
All right. Senate Bill 45, Senator Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, this bill we had last year. Senator Coleman Madison and I worked on the floor together. She had an amendment to it. I made sure the amendment was included in the redraft of the bill. There are two amendments in front of you. One was originally a Senator Singleton amendment that got left out of the draft, and I want to, in good faith, make sure we get that one back on there. And then one that was brought to me related to some insurance concerns, and so mechanically, I want to get the bill back where it was when we all passed it last year out of the body. The bill deals with driver's licenses and invalidating driver's licenses from states that do not require the proof of lawful citizenship or lawful presence when you apply for a driver's license. So essentially, illegal immigrants having driver's licenses without, well, they're illegal immigrants. They can't prove that they're here legally, and so we want to invalidate those in the state.
So which is your First Amendment?
So let's real quick do, the first one will be the one that ends in Charlie 11-1. It's replace line 57.
Got it.
Okay. So
Have we got a motion, Senator Elliott, seconded by Senator Bell?
yeah, just let me explain it, Mr. Chairman, if I can, just to make sure everybody's on the page. This says nothing in this section shall invalidate a driver's license for the purpose of an insurance company's requirements for valid or continued insurance coverage. I wanted to make sure that while we may be saying the driver's license is not valid, we want to make sure we don't invalidate the insurance coverage at the same time. And so that's what that protection's there for. And so I have a motion and a second, and I'd like to move or adopt it.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay, and ayes got it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Second Amendment,
Yes, sir. The Second Amendment was the Singleton Amendment on the floor last year. And basically, it says the invalidation does not occur if you have in your possession other documentation showing that you have proof of lawful presence. So,
we have a motion for favorable, Senator Roberts. Senator Bell seconds. Previous roll, any objection? Previous roll order.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. And then I'll move favorable report on the legislation itself.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a
Yes.
statement? I don't know if this included my amendment, but I'm not going to worry about holding it up because things are changing as we speak now. But, you know, my concern was how do we notify people who are just driving through the state? Is this about the driver's license? We weren't going to accept those driver's licenses. We say, I know in some states, you all showed me something where theirs was different.
Yes, ma'am. So,
But we don't have that in Alabama, I don't think.
yep.
You know, theirs is actually a different driver's license.
It is.
Whatever.
It is.
Out of state.
But we don't have that, right?
We don't have that in Alabama, no, ma'am. There are about a dozen states in the country that do that, and what we're trying to do is say, hey, it's not valid in Alabama if you're not checking for lawful
And
presence.
see, that was my issue
Is how. So,
of how we notify them to let them know that you come through Alabama, it's not going to be, you know, if you get stopped, your car can get impounded, XYZ is going to happen to you.
so just to be clear, it doesn't impound the vehicle. It just issues a citation. It validates the driver's license, which means that you're driving without a license, which means you get a ticket. We're not impounding the vehicle.
Yeah.
So let's, your language starts on line 46 where it says to facilitate the enforcement of the section. And so it deals with language about posting on the website, the Aaliyah's website, what driver's license, what states, if you will, issue these types of
Okay,
licenses.
general.
And then you had some signage language
Right.
that we put in there in
Right.
conjunction with Aaliyah and ALDOT. And so I maintained
Yes.
everything we did on the floor and
Yes.
everything we passed. I appreciate y'all adopting those amendments to get us back straight. But it's essentially what we agreed to and passed on the floor.
Do you know how many states have this already?
I was thinking that ahead of time. Last year, I had this all in my head, and I didn't. It's about a dozen, Senator, but I'll get you not only exactly how many, but the names of those states.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me.
We've got a motion and a second. It's okay to use previous roll. So ordered. Favorable report.
Thank you.
Senate Bill 46, Senator Coleman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 46 is one of two bills that I'm going to be bringing this session for some type of special designation for people who have invisible disabilities. This is the companion bill to House Bill 66 by Representative Ontario Tillman, who's done a yeoman's job working directly with Elliott. And what it will do, the version of the bill that you have in front of you, and it's on page 3, at the top it tells you what it'll do is for a driver's license and non-driver's identification card that the individual will have it'll have a discrete symbol. This bill says that it'll be the state flower. Aaliyah has asked us to do something else. I would like to move this bill out today if we can in this version, but there will be a substitute that will state that I think it's going to be SD instead of the state symbol, the state flower.
You're in agreement with that?
Absolutely, 100%. I have a bonus son who is on the autism spectrum. And he just drove on December the 20th for the first time on the highway. He's 30. And he is absolutely amazing. I thought about him when I saw Representative Tillman introduce this bill. And I'm very excited about the opportunity for those folks that have these invisible disabilities to have that designation. We're also going to include, there is a whole list of them on page 3. But we're going to add a number 8 also, which will be epilepsy.
Okay.
Question.
Senator Elliott.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Senator, I just want to tell you, I think this is a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
And I can't imagine, I work a lot with our law enforcement, and I'm sure Senator Bell's got a comment on this, but from a law enforcement standpoint, to be able to know that somebody has an issue with a traffic stop, especially if it's more in the mental area that you've got listed here, that changes how a law enforcement officer is going to interact with that person. What may seem like suspicious behavior to, for a regular person is completely normal for other folks. And to be able for that law enforcement person, as soon as they've got the license, to see that is such a fantastic idea. You're going to save lives with this.
Thank you for that.
Senator Bell.
Kind of along the same way. I've got Alabama Institute for the Deaf and Blind in my district. And unbelievable place, and been trying to think of the issue that some of them have. And the deaf, they can't hear the sirens. They're not hearing it. And then the officer approaches, they don't realize that they are. So it's like it could save a life, but I'm still trying to figure out how to make a designation where they run the tag or something that pops up, deaf individual driving, something to protect them. So thank you, and I'll give a favorable.
Thank you.
All right. Using previous role.
Yes, sir.
Bill's giving a favorable report.
Good bill.
Thank you all so much.
Senator Bill, Carnley, Senate Bill 86.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill from the Department of Revenue. Last year, we passed an extension through the tax tribunal for the appeals process to give 60 days from the 30 days that was in there, just to give people more time to appeal any kind of adverse ruling. And so what this does, and when they were going through their code, they found this section here that was not under our law. So what this does is anybody who is unlawfully importing, transporting, or delivers, stores, or sells motor fuels in Alabama, what this does, it gives them an additional 60 days to appeal that process and for the payment of any penalties. And so that's what the bill does.
Okay, any questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, Bill's giving a favorable report. Senate Bill 95, Senator Allen.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This right here is the current law. All of us understand and know about the underground damage prevention program that exists. That's one call. In other words, one call. If you're in construction, so you certainly make that one call to make sure that the underground facility is wired, cable, whatever. What this does right here, this bill is the sunset on this is January of 2027. This bill does, it just, it changes that to sunset clause for January 1, 2036.
Move favorable, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Previous roll, okay. Bill's given favorable report.
Good. Thank you.
This is something I'm not.